how's it going? So this week, again, it's been really quiet. I mean, the lockdown is still effect from COVID-19, so still just mainly stuck at home and yeah, just not a whole lot to do and yeah, just overall being really quiet and just isolated really overall. So, but yeah, I'm still keeping up with the news a bit. Like, I know I mentioned that it's not really that healthy for people with mental health to watch the news because it's just been death after death really from the virus. Like, every time I put on the news each day, it just adds so many more numbers. It just makes me feel really depressed, really sad, and just overall puts me in a real low mood. And yeah, I just try to limit it to just a little bit of news each day because, I mean, I know if I just watch it too much and it's just going to get me down too much. So I try to limit it, but I just feel it's just wise to have a general idea what's going on around the world. But yeah, overall it's just been sad news every day and just makes me feel a lot lower. And yeah, my heart just goes out to all the families who've lost their loved ones really, but it's just the reality of the situation of the world we're in right now. And yeah, it just can't really be helped. And with the whole COVID-19 thing, this might sound very controversial and probably will make a lot of people angry, but honestly it's not my intention, and I mean absolutely no disrespect to the ones who have lost their loved ones, but I do sometimes, this is just a thought in my head, but I have sometimes thought about, could the COVID-19 virus be some sort of act of God? And I'm not a religious person myself, but it's just a thought that kind of occurred in my head, that could the virus be an act of God to thin out the human population? Like, I know that though it isn't our intention, but humans are, like, the human race is generally very destructive and often pollutes and damages our environment and earth. And like I said, it's not our intention for most of us, but like, I mean, the human race just goes through a lot of waste, dumps a lot of waste into the seas and lands, and wastes a lot of plastics and stuff, and burns a lot of fuel and gases and stuff. Like, all this is very damaging and destructive to the earth. And I know overall a lot of people and the news has said that the earth, well, the human population has gone well over its limit for what the planet can endure. So I'm just wondering, could the virus, because it's sadly taken away so many thousands of lives, a thought just occurred to my head that could this be an act of God to thin out the human population so it kind of restores balance for the human race and for the natural earth? So like I said, I don't mean any disrespect at all to the people who've lost their loved ones or anything like that, and I'm not a religious person myself, but it's just a thought that occurred to my head, so I just thought I'd get it out there. And like, I don't mean to, if you are angry from this, that wasn't my intention at all. Like I said, it's just a thought that occurred, so I just thought I'd get it out there and just wondered what you guys think. So, it would be nice to hear what you think in the comments below. But yeah, I mean, it's overall up to you really if you want to share the information. But yeah, I mean, since I've been stuck at home, I just mainly just focused on my book really. Like, I recently done another read through of it, and I think one more read through, and I think it's completed. Like, I don't really think there's anything more I could add to it, so hopefully it should be finished sometime next week or the week after. And it's not really in the best of times to publish it with everything that's going on, but yeah, I'm just, maybe some people will find some joy or something if they get the book to read, but yeah, just overall, just has to see how it goes from there. And because I've been stuck in isolation, and most likely will for a long time to come, I feel that each video of these weeks is probably going to be very similar. So rather than just talk about how I'm feeling or continuing my book and stuff, I just thought maybe talk about some stuff that, like, hobbies and entertainment that I do throughout the week. And it's not something I usually talk about, but like I said, because I'm going to be in isolation for most likely quite a while, I just thought, why not change it up a bit and just talk about stuff that I do for hobby. So this week I've just been catching up on a lot of Disney Pixar movies, and I watched a ton of them back then when I was a kid. So things like Toy Story, Incredibles, Finding Nemo and stuff like that. And I've always enjoyed them quite a lot. And in recent years, a lot of sequels and stuff came out, but I just never got around to watching them. So I thought, since I'm going to be stuck at home for a long time, I just thought, why not just binge watch through all of them to catch up on myself. And I'm not really going to go into any spoilers or even reviews, but overall I'd say I enjoy all of them really. Like Toy Story 4 I liked, but I felt that it could have been concluded at number 3 because it was kind of this nice conclusion to the story with Andy and the toys and stuff. So although number 4 I liked it, I don't feel it was probably really necessary to have it, but yeah, overall I still enjoyed the movie. Finding Dory was quite fun to watch. It's definitely quite a bit different to the first one, but overall it was still very funny and entertaining to watch. Incredibles 2, I'll probably say I actually like the first one more because, like, I probably like the villain more in the first one, and the overall story it kind of felt more engaging, but the second one was alright as well, I guess. I also watched The Good Dinosaur, which is a new IP, and it's actually quite different to the other Pixar movies because it's actually quite a sad story overall, but it has a lot of character and character building, personality, and has a lot of heart to it as well. So if you haven't watched that one, then I do recommend checking that one out. I also watched Inside Out, and this one was sort of relatable to me because it's focused on a girl called Riley, and it focuses on her emotions, and each emotion is a character. So because I have mental health, like I often go through a lot of phases of unbalanced emotions and stuff. I just thought Inside Out was quite interesting to watch, and quite interesting how they put it into a construct of her own world in itself inside someone's head. So if you haven't checked that one out, I also recommend that one. And then I also watched the newest one, which is Onward, and it's much more fantasy based. And overall the two main characters are brothers, and it kind of reminds me of myself and my older brother. But yeah, it was just overall quite an interesting story and has a very heartwarming ending. So again, I recommend Onward. And another film is Cars 3, and I enjoyed the first two, so Cars 3 was also very fun to watch, and it's actually quite a more dark and serious story compared to the first two, but it's also has a lot of personality, character building, and a lot of deep emotions in it as well. So I also recommend Cars 3. As for my mood, I mean, like I said, watching the news has always brought my mood down, so I've always been feeling really low and depressive a lot of times, but watching the Disney movies has lifted my mood up for quite a bit as well, because of all the heartwarming stories and stuff. But overall, I'd say my mood is just up and down really. Sometimes I'm feeling really low, but other times just a bit happier. And I imagine with everything that's going around in the world, most people's moods are probably going to be quite low anyway. But all I can say is that we all just need to keep pushing forward and need to try and keep a positive mindset going forward. Not a whole lot. I imagine it's just going to be very similar to this week. So a lot of staying in the house, and yeah, like I mentioned, just I hopefully publish my book. So if not next week, then most likely the week after. So I guess look forward to that, I guess. But overall, no, I wouldn't say there's going to be much I can really do next week. I imagine it's going to be very similar, so we'll just have to see how it goes from there. So I guess that's pretty much it for this week, so hopefully I'll see you next Saturday. That's it for this video. My name is Hoiman, and please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And remember, always look forward, keep hope alive, and remember, you're somebody.